Mama is a bad girl, mama is a fiend. Bone cushion, I got the skate machine. She gets the devil in her when she's lacing up the skates. Unleashing hell with a smile on her face. Oh yeah, it's gonna be alright now, yeah. Another Saturday night now, yeah. Skate through your dreams. Mama's gonna be a roller derby queen. Oh yeah.
Music traditionally is the art form of rebellion. So we're using music just as the musicians in the 60s did at Woodstock to identify their generation and expand on what it was to be a human being. Some are more aware of it than others, but I think that the women in Mamapalooza and in their own way are doing that for the role of motherhood, reinventing what it is to be a modern mom. And I don't think we totally know what that is yet. I think we're trying to figure it out. I know I am.
Rock your world, rock your world, rock your world tonight. Rock your world, rock your world, rock it till the big ride. Rock your world, rock your world, rock your world tonight. Rock your world, rock your world, rock it till the big ride.
I called William Morris in New York. I got past the first secretary, which is unheard of. Got to the music people. And I'm trying to say to them, look, there's a whole movement. It's the mom rock movement. You got to hear me. There, it's in People magazine. It's in the Wall Street Journal. We have records in the store. It's like, well, I've never heard of you. I said, just log on to the website, www.housewivesonprozac.com. Come on, please, please. And he's like, look, if you're big enough to need an agent, believe me, we'll find you. I was like, okay, well, I'll see you on the way down or up, as the case may be. Bye-bye.
Well, thanks would be nice, but no, no, no. I've been standing in the kitchen since a quarter till noon. Eat your damn spaghetti or leave the room. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You must have been born with a silver spoon. Eat your damn spaghetti or leave the room. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. It's my turn. Pepper Ann, you Cooper 7 feet. Pepper Ann, she's like one in a million. Go, go, Power Rangers. We'll circle back to rescue the Power Rangers from the planet Earth with a
Here on this planet, we're here to be vital and creative within the structure of our lives. And I want to really give women the message that it's okay to ask the questions, who am I? Why am I here and what do I want to wear today?
I was driving around one day, saw a car with a bumper sticker that said Housewives on Prozac, and it made me laugh so hard. So I went home, I tried to look it up on the internet, there was nothing there. This is funny. And the next day, Joy Rose came in to my school and said, is there anybody who's available who could help me notate music for this musical I'm writing? So I said, sure, I'd love to. And the musical was about her going through chemotherapy and being ill, but it never really mentioned what she had. Meanwhile, I was going through my own issues, being diagnosed with lupus. And little did I know that her whole musical was about her life story and going through being ill with lupus. And so yeah, we discovered that we had this kind of connection. And she helped me, because she had gone through all these beginning stages, and helped me figure out what the best route was for me to go, and that there's life after lupus, and helped me join her project and get music back into my life.
She's a rock and roll fever. Fell into a trap. And now she's in so deep. There's no turning back.
Who knew? CBGBs.
where are you off to now?
Rock your world, rock your world, rock it till it feels.
Oh my God. They're playing outside. That's so embarrassing.
When I first met Joy, I was like, wow, what an interesting looking woman, and she's very pretty, and I got like this real sort of vibe, like this aura from her. And unfortunately, I turned Joy off completely because of my Brooklyn accent, which is just really sort of dry and deadpan, and she was sort of like, why do you want this job? And I was like, because I need another week to get my health benefits. I thought that was kind of cool to say that, just because it was true, and because I figured I didn't want to seem so hungry, you know, for a change. But she didn't like that very much. Anyway, what wound up saving me was the fact that I sat down and played, and Bill noticed that I was, you know, the best drummer that they saw that day. Because she was like, oh, she's mean, and she's scary, and she, you know, she's doing this just because she needs work or something like that. Well, I didn't know anything about the show yet. Everybody was doing it because they needed work. It was only afterwards, when I got to know Joy, that I got to see how much I was going to enjoy myself, besides the fact that it was a job. Not only that, she realized what a friggin' pussycat that I am, and that basically, you know, what do they say? That like, you don't judge a book by its cover.
You do lots of pushing, lots of dreaming and scheming. You take what you can get. That's why I sing the skating mama love man. Skating mama blues, I got the skating mama blues. I'm singing the skating mama love man.
Hi, I'm Judy Davids. I'm the guitar player. I was going to say lead guitar player, but I don't play lead guitar. I'm 44 years old and I live in Royal, Michigan. I was telling the other women how I started taking guitar lessons because Jack White of the band White Stripes had come and performed at my kids' school and talked a little bit to them about songwriting, and he made it look so easy that I, like the next day, signed up for guitar lessons. I told them that I wanted to be in a band, and everybody agreed that that was like a really good goal for like I was 42 at the time. That was, you know, like, you go girl, you be in a band. But you know, here's the thing, I couldn't join like a 20-year-old band, like a 20-year-old garage band, you know, kids with like no experience, because they wouldn't have me. And people that were my own age wouldn't probably want me to be in their band. I don't think anybody would take me seriously, except for other moms like myself who had similar, you know, who also didn't know what they were doing. Nobody had an instrument. That was the other problem. I had a guitar, so I was automatically the guitarist, but nobody else knew how to play an instrument. So we decided the easiest thing to do would be to pick the lead singer first.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mamapalooza Monday. I hope you're getting your nails done and your brows done. We're the Models, and if you've never heard us before, we're an all-moms band. And if you don't like our music, you can go to the bar and get another beer, because the more you drink, the better we sound. This first song's called The Model Twist. One!
And I'm the lead vocals in the My Dolls. When I started the band, in the formality, I was originally going to be the drummer. I had switched around to being the bass player, and then I just kind of got thrown out there. You would never think of me as fronting a band. I'm just really happy that I've come to know these girls.
My name is Pat. You got my whole name? And I'm the drummer for the My Dolls. I got into the band because my friend Judy wanted to start a band, and she asked me to be in it, and I thought it would be fun, and so I said sure, but I didn't know what I could do to be helpful in the band. When we went to have a first practice, the guy handed me drumsticks, and he's like, just do this, over and over again. And
I taught them how to count, tap their feet, play together, point their guitars like weapons.
Yeah.
The basic necessities of being in a rock band.
then I became the drummer. I never thought I would be in a band, never thought I had any musical ability at all, but it turns out I can count to 4, and that's all I need to be able to do.
I'm Paige. I'm the bass player in the My Dolls. There are a couple of songs that I wrote that I sing, but really Kira kind of carries the show. But she has this really sort of like she really couldn't give a shit type of style of singing. Before we go on stage, she goes into the ladies' bathroom, she pulls out her beehive, smears her makeup, takes off the beautiful outfit, puts on a dressing gown, a house coat and house shoes, stuffs her pockets full of Tampax and condoms, and lights up a big fat cigar and gets this big tumbler. It looked like whiskey. I think it was watered down Coke. And she sort of comes slopping out onto the stage, and we're already up and, starting to play the intro for the first song. And she just, she looks like a fright. She looks terrible. And she couldn't remember the words, and she was laughing and slurring. And Judy and I are looking at each other going, oh, where are we in the song? And then we just went with it, and it was hilarious.
Somebody said to me, why do you play guitar with the My Dolls? They're like an all-moms band. And I said to them, they're a niche band, and, you don't get it. It's not... They're not technical wizards by any means. That's why I'm there. I'm kind of filling them out, And I just kind of help them plug their guitars in and stuff. There are a lot of bands around town that don't even come close to them. That's why I'm riding their coattails.
A lot of our songs are written by our lead singer's husband, John, who was in a lot of punk bands in the 80s.
I was in a band called Art Fag, and we did some touring, and my old bandmate, Len Putch, produced their first album, and then I started writing for these guys. I don't think it's any different than if she was on a soccer team or something like that, because, they do a show. It's actually kind of cool because it's an excuse for us to get out. If I can't get a sitter, I stay home. She goes out, so it's not I don't think it's a big deal. She works nights, a lot of nights anyway, so it's, I work days and come home, watch the kids, and then it's not really an issue. It's kind of a rise to see your name in People Magazine or the Wall Street Journal or the Morning Show or that kind of stuff.
Once Housewives was going out and playing, I'm looking around at parties that I go to and performances that I go to, and I'm seeing everywhere I go people talking about their past, their glory days, who they used to be, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we got to get some of these people up on stage. Any artist that we could find, somebody who had something they wanted to say or express themselves, they had an open invitation with Housewives to get up and dance and celebrate and feel their chi, good, positive energy flowing through them. Mamapalooza was sort of just a natural extension of what Housewives was already doing.
So meeting is called to order. But I think it's perfect if our secretary has a bald head and nose ring out.
Is this a terrorist organization here?
Yeah, right.
Is it a woman's movement?
Yeah. Most of these women are not professionals. They're semi-professionals who have basically left music behind to raise their family and are trying to, they're not even to the level of making money, they're trying to survive as in they're rediscover their soul to even know enough that they can go back out and sing once they've had a baby. This is where a lot of these people are at.
And see, then you're going to the nexus, which is this a product that can make money, or is this very nice therapy for a lot of nice people with a few really good performers mixed in?
Well, it's both.
Yeah.
It is both.
It can very easily be both, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is both.
It's allowing people to be artists and allowing people to make money.
Yes, and I think that the first stage, I mean, it's baby right now.
Right.
And if you look through this press, the appeal of all this press is not, why aren't women getting paid to go out and do their art? We haven't gotten there yet, maybe we will. Right now, the genesis of all the intrigue for all these stories and the intrigue of the movement itself is just that simple concept, wow, mom's a human being. Like, people haven't even wrapped their minds around that yet. That's a lot for them to swallow. I would love it to go national this year. Like, the girls in Chicago or in Detroit want to do one, the My Dolls and Candyman. And then, the Frumps out on the West Coast. So if we could get it going in 3 cities, I think that would be great. I really believe in women, and we talked about this, economically supporting themselves through their art. So let's go back to fundraising.
Welcome to kindergarten. Here we go. The coolest kids on the Lower East Side.
I know Lisa because Lisa and me are partners in a benefit we do every year for God's Love We Deliver, where they deliver hot food to homebound AIDS patients. She's the one who organized it. I just put together the bands. I get like 10 or 20 bands together. I solicit donations from a bunch of different people. We raffle it off, and all the money goes for charity. She's the Black Flamingo herself. Black Flamingo, ladies and gentlemen, the band is Black Flamingo.
My nickname once was non sequitur. I didn't know what the word meant. I lived in London for a little while, and they would always call me non sequitur, and I would be like, I don't even know what that means. I know what it means now, and it's pretty funny because now that I do know what it means, I realize that I do live my life as a non sequitur.
Rocker moms is a good thing because, people kind of have this notion that when you have kids, then you start staying home. You got to keep it alive, It's good for the kids, too.
I must have done something right. I must be doing something right. I must have did something right to fall in love with you, to share my time with you. You must have done something right. You must be doing something right. You must have did something right to share your time with me, to fall in love with me. You must have. I found my sunglasses!
Lisa's an awesome performer. I love working with her. You can see in her performances, whereas it's like a little girl on stage. When she's working the crowd, it's like when you're in front of the class. She's perfect that way, you know what I mean?
To a courthouse?
We're going to 60 Center Street.
All right, then go to Lafayette, make a left, because it comes to a triangle.
Okay.
The Center Street runs this way, so go to Lafayette, make a left.
Thank you.
Our newest song is called Mrs. President. Did I tell you that? That's cool. Yeah, it's a really good song. We're going to record that on Sunday too. It's really good we went because the guy there was really helpful, totally cool. And what we found out was, got to put it through your corporation. Right. So it will have, for the time being, it'll have to be Mamapalooza through Housewives on Prozac, which is incorporated, but we have to go to Albany for that. So girls, it's road trip to Albany! No, we could do it all on the phone. So that's the next job, is to call Albany today, and we're gonna do a doing business as, get that certificate sent in, and then we can start accepting banner money. That's what we want. We want banners for the website. The other day, I met a bear. A great big bear. Away up there. The other day, I met a bear. A great big bear. Well, sing it with me. Great big bear, way up there. He looked at me.
He looked at me.
I looked at him.
I looked at him.
He sized me up.
He sized me up.
And noticed my milk-stained, disheveled state. He looked at me, I looked at him. He sized me up and noticed my milk-stained, disheveled state. Are you gonna sing with me or not? One thing we would like to do, which we would see as a major coup, would be is if music was actually being played on the radio stations across America. And I'm not talking about a famous mom like Shania Twain or something who has already established and then writes a song about her child. I'm talking about women who organically, out of the frustrations or loneliness or difficulties that they face sometimes as mothers, have created art from that and then gone on to become performers based on that experience. So my motivation falls in that latter category, to get somebody on as a producer who could actually get us some radio play would be amazing. Wish it was a woman, but we'll take it. Hal's great. He's been the most supportive person possible for like us and Mom Rock since the beginning, since the first day we talked.
Yeah.
He's made himself available. He's supported us, sponsored us, recorded us, put in his ideas, and we love him because, please pan down to his feet. Are you wearing clogs today?
Because I'm wearing
He's
clogs.
so cute, and he wears clogs. And how can we pass that up?
Right.
No, it's his winning personality and his very truly soulful perspective.
Take a star from out the sky, and the sky feels blue. Tear a petal from a rose, and a rose weeps.
This big shot producer is coming over. That's so cool. Neil Kozowski is his name.
I've always been afraid of processing and overproducing things because jazz clients would just kill me if I was ever to try something like that. So Neil is a friend of mine. He lives very close by. He's got a stellar recording resume, and he was nice enough to put in his 2 cents.
My heart is yours to take, that's what it is. So please keep the sparkle. Would you take the wings from birds? Would you do that? So that they can fly. My dad played the organ, and he sang. He was a song and dance man. So I think I got the voice from my dad, the music from my dad, and the discipline from my mother. Because she went and took her piano lessons and practiced her scales. Isn't that a gorgeous song?
This is her first real studio record, I think, because now that I'm producing it, I'm not asking her for hourly cash anymore. So, and we have this relationship, so we're just putting as much time into as it needs to get it right. She really needs a product that is representative of what they do live, and they've really never had that. So that's the story. That's where we are.
have a hit. These little kooks. They're really good.
There are some folk mommies that sing things like, you know, Bad Mother Blues, like Mother Lode Trio that we performed with last night. But they're very sweet, you know, 3 girls, very all-American, you know. I got the bad mother blues.
Got those sad, I'm a bad mother blues. I haven't slept in 6 years and the kids got the flu. So yesterday, I'm afraid I got those bad mother blues.
I heard one mother was on a business call, and she got a call from a client, and she realized that halfway through her conversation, she had sliced off an entire thing of butter for her like kid, who was only like 2, but that was what was keeping her quiet. Was
slicing the butter.
And she realized after the end of the conversation, oh my gosh, I've given my kid
And the kid ate it?
of butter. Yeah.
Just solid butter?
She goes anything to kill those. But then that's when she knew something had to change. No, it's gross.
But the greatest force of change in the traditional pattern of American family life was the changed status of woman herself. The feminist movement, which began in 1848, was originally directed against masculine domination. For many years, suffragettes campaigned to get the vote for women. But it was not until 1920 that women in all states of the Union could vote. But the factor of greatest change was the increasing employment of women outside the home, in factories, in commercial services, and in the professions. Industry offered her employment, at the same time providing her with merchandise and services that undermined her traditional tasks. Today, most women work, not in protest against masculine domination, but out of economic necessity.
This the whole thing around rocker moms. I mean, you're demonstrating that these mothers are committed moms. You know, they're driving their kids to school and then they're picking up a guitar. And just because you drive your kids to school doesn't mean you can't, you know, do something else.
I feel really strongly that every person who picks up a guitar and starts rocking, every mom who picks up a guitar and starts rocking, is in fact starting mom rock, because it's such a new thing.
Background in classical music. I started violin when I was 10, and I was a music major in college for a very short time until I broke my arm slam dancing. And I was thinking about like the mom thing and how you're shoved into this box and you're marginalized and silenced and alienated and exhausted, and you have all of your resources stripped from you. And I was like, damn, that's like being a punk rocker.
In battle at the tower. To the power, wide open all the gates of insurrection. You can't stay, but you can't get away. You're gonna pay and pay. The price is told, world reinjection.
I like, you know, feeling like, God, I'm so weird, you know, but then I'm like, well, not really. I mean, I'm the same gender that I started out as, you know. I have children, I have a job, I pay my taxes, you know. Around here it's kind of like that, so middle of the road. I grew up in a small town in Colorado. Very, very white, very redneck, very, very conservative, very Christian. I think there's like 300 churches and 1 synagogue, which got firebombed while I was living there. I did not do well there. So I come out here and it's home.
all need a little rest right now. As soon as I get the kids in bed tonight, I'm in bed. 9:30, I hope, at the max. I want to just see if we could get some platform shoes because my zipper broke for the second time and I need some new ones, some big ass platforms. So I could kick ass on Wednesday night. These are much more me because then I could be tall and big ass, but I won't fall over on stage.
Which one's this nice?
Yeah, those. And these. Oh my God, I could never.
Hey, this is the 10 and a half 11.
You have 11 too?
Yeah.
Talk me into the red boots. I'm not sure they're me. I could list right off the top of my head 50 mother rockers, and I really could. And it's Detroit, it's Texas. I just heard about another girl out in Michigan. We've got Oakland, California, San Fran, LA. We've got Detroit. We've got New York and the surrounding area. This year at Mamapalooza in New York City, I had 30 mother rockers, in addition to the mom poets and mom writers and comics. 6 minutes, that was long. That was on a great, regular, normal radio station. And I just got another message, and I want to make sure it's not a kid calling, because sometimes I get to drop sneakers off at the school, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing that.
Life and style.
10-4, Michael. You're heavy enrolling.
Oh, no, they're not that high. I got these boots after I met you. I'm just like inwardly, even though I'm so nice, I'm also inwardly competitive. So when I saw how high Lisa's shoes were, I knew I had to get high shoes too.
I actually had shoes like that on this morning, and then I changed. And when I saw you were wearing them, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I changed my shoes because.
No, you totally inspired these shoes.
How sweet.
After the outdoor concert last year, and I saw you in your megas, because I only had the paint cans up to that point, and you cannot walk down the street in paint cans. Knitting Factory's the 14th during the day, but you're going to wait to hear from...
I'm going to confirm that today. I said I had an executive meeting today for Mamapalooza after a TV taping, and I wouldn't be able to get back to them till after Friday.
Okay.
For a long time, you know, it wasn't groovy to be a mother. You know,
especially not in the music business.
And totally not in the music business.
You get written off the second you
I was told all the time to take Mom out of my press kit repeatedly. It's the first time I'm ever allowed to put it in.
Exactly.
And you know what? When you told me that, that was one of the most powerful things anyone had ever told me.
It happened all the time to me.
To be able to put back in your bio, not just that you're a musician, but that you're a mom who rocks, that is so huge. Sue Fabish, she's a comic musician. She has the mom, themom.net, and she does like really funny like country songs.
Because I know, I mean, Nashville has some amazing mothers. But if we could get the Bluebird behind us.
That's where they're performing.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
She's got 2 nights at Bluebird.
Yep. Oh, perfect.
Yeah. We're going to go to our fancy car now. Our limo service that's going to drive us back to the suburbs. Oh, baby. Hi, Marianne Croft's office. My name's Joy Rose. I play with a band called Housewives on Prozac, and I'm also doing something called the Mamapalooza Movement Festival. And Mariana's name has come up several times. Neil Dorsman is producing our album, and Diane Scanlon is doing some writing on it. And it's been recommended that I might want to speak with Mariana. I'm coming out to do some Hollywood wheelings and dealings. I'm meeting with the studio heads of Paramount and Fox and Warner Brothers, and need I go on next week when I come out about this whole Moms Who Rock movement. We just did Good Morning America on Friday. I'm just finished taping for Life and Style USA last week, the head of the London Times 3 weeks ago, Chicago Tribune 4 weeks ago, People Magazine 6 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm the founder and lead singer and songwriter of the band, and also the founder of Mamapalooza. Yeah, so I got about 150 other incredible mom rockers that I'm working with, creating really like this entire movement.
And her children love her, but they hate her too, 'cause she beats them up like her daddy used to do. And she can't help it at all, when the whiskey speaks and the blows they fall. Here she is, take a look. She still functions, but she's damaged goods. Look a little closer into her eyes. She's hopelessly damaged, her eyes. In a corner for the gym, and she plays her cards while she waits for him, and she hides her secrets, she hides her fears, and she hides her bruises underneath her head.
Singing has deep roots and histories in social change. Now, of course, it depends on what you sing about. But if you listen to the lyrics, and Housewives on Prozac, I think, has a certain, shall I say, political bent to it. Politics and music have been together, over history.
As precious little babies, it's the first word that they said. Now every time I hear it, I wish that I were dead. They scream it in the car, they scream it in the store, they scream it in a tantrum as I drag them across the floor. Mommy! Timmy's making fun of me, Mommy, make him stop. I didn't do it, did not. Shut up, knock it off, you better cut it out. It's quiet for a second, then everybody shouts, Mommy! Jesse's feet are on my chair, Mommy! I can't find clean underwear. I need a drink of water and I poop it in my jammy. Mommy, 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 mommy!
Here in Nashville, I can take my kids with me. I've taken my kids to meetings with me, and actually, when Jessica was a baby, I was having a meeting with a record label, and she was screaming, and I had to nurse her, and there was nothing I could do. We were in the middle of the meeting, and this guy says to me, "Look, honey, I've had 6 kids and 12 grandchildren. If you need to nurse her, you go right ahead." And so I was nursing, breastfeeding, in the middle of a meeting with a record executive here in Nashville. I could never have done that in New York. I would have been thrown out of New York. So just that family lifestyle down here has really been great for me, being able to blossom down here.
I've shopped in New York on 5th Avenue, bought dresses in Paris and shoes in Malibu. But right down the road is a utopian place with a big yellow smiley face. I look up in the lights and I see falling prices. 2-for-1 SpaghettiOs and fuzzy dices. Flying in my shopping cart, I'm superhuman. 'Cause I am Walmart woman. Yeah.
I had wanted to get back into playing the drums again because I really enjoyed it. So after I got this drum set, then it was like, okay, now I have a drum set, now what do I do? So I started asking all my friends if anybody played an instrument, and I decided I wanted to start a band to play at my 40th birthday party.
Definitely been a turning point for my mom, and so it's signified a lot of growth and change in her that I've seen. I think she's a lot more self-assured. She's she's really acquired a lot of independence. I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis per se, but I was almost an adult when it started happening, so I was definitely able to recognize the changes. She's also doing something for herself. It's sort of her zen to be with these women and make music.
Pick up your socks. Clean up your room. Go take a bath. Everybody come in there.
must-have for the false fashion. I thought it was a good-looking shirt and a good band. Drum.
My kids encouraged me to buy this bumper sticker when we were at Six Flags. It says it all.
Pick up your socks! Pick up your socks! Pick up your
All moms everywhere should have the joy of being in a mom band, because it's the most fun thing that I've done ever, I think. And it's, I just want to keep doing it. I hope that when we're 65, we'll be touring, and because our kids will all be in college by then and off on their own, and we can go do whatever we want.
It's new, 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 and two for you. It's new, 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 with beauty true. It's Agilon Stretch, nylon yarn. It's Agilon Stretch, nylon yarn.
Today's society, this is what was amazing to me, is I started Daisy Rock Guitars 5 years ago. You couldn't find maybe a handful of TV show, movie type things where girls are playing guitar in them. And now you turn on the Disney Channel and or Nickelodeon, and it's just all these great shows now where, she's 10 years old and she's writing lyrics on a guitar about how her life is today. That is so empowering. The only thing I had when I was growing up was Happy Days with Susie Quattro, and playing Leather Tuscadero. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do that, whatever that is, I have to do that, because it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Are you ready, kids?
Welcome back from the break. We're doing the candy band. Now we get a chance to talk. I'd like to introduce Paula. She's kind of the leader of the band. Would you say that, Paula?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. Can you introduce the other members?
Sure. This is Daniela on vocals, also known as Skittles. Taste the Rainbow.
I heard Paula got all the people together for the band, and they already practiced twice. And I knew, gosh, if that takes off, I'm gonna just kick myself for not even, trying to get in there. So I crashed their practice and just tried.
And we have Anita on the bass. She's also known as Kit Kat.
Paula just called me one day. I didn't even know her very well. We were on the Y board together, but she just called and said, I'm putting together this band, this kids rock band. I thought she was talking about kids playing the instruments. I'm like, huh? And she's like, no, we play the instruments, but it's kids music, but it's gonna rock.
And we have Tammy on the drums, also known as Starburst.
My husband was in a band, and he was my teacher for a while, which was nice.
Where'd you get the name Starburst?
Oh, that's my favorite candy. We all chose our favorite candy, and Paula chose Almond Joy, which we found out later, kids hate Almond Joy.
I was in a band, that was in 1985. We were an all-girl band that played kind of like psychedelic garage music, ironically enough, because that's what's so popular now. And we were doing it back then, and we had actually befriended Rob Tyner from the MC5, and he traveled a bit with us, and we were the VP5, Vertical Pillar 5. My favorite spot in the house is my leopard couch. Mailman's here. I started playing guitar when I was like 10 years old. And I was like playing all this like folk stuff, and my mom had me take lessons from this guy from church and learning songs like I can see clearly now the rain has gone, or all the leaves are brown. And then when I got into junior high, I discovered Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, and then I realized, no, I really want to play guitar because I want to play like that. I have 6 students, and then I teach a group. Play that up a couple times.
Charlie, you have to ask
move everything up to the next string, like this. Our kids totally inspire us to write songs. And one of the songs my kids inspired me to write was Ken Lost His Head, and it's about, they had this little bakery set up and all these Barbies are sitting around eating croissants, and then they set Ken out, but Ken doesn't have a head, and I'm sitting there with my guitar and I go, you guys, this is really stupid. How can Ken have a croissant? He doesn't have a head, he doesn't have a mouth, he doesn't have teeth to chew, he's gonna choke. What are you doing? So that evolved into Ken Lost His Head. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Rebecca found it.
We are at Green Acres Elementary School Ice Cream Social Open House. So it should be very interesting. We've never played here before, and they're all loaded up on sugar.
Let me hear you say yeah! And Rebecca found it.
Drunks are easier to handle in a bar, I think, sometimes than kids.
Before I had the band, I was like furiously decorating the house all the time. Like, okay, I'll make some curtains and anything to accomplish something, you know, because being at home all day, you're making dinner and then it's gone, and then you have a ton of dishes and you do them and then there's more and nothing's finished. So I think just for me and the rest of the girls in our band, it's just been a lifesaver. I mean, it's sanity for us because we really have something that we can, you know, really show as an accomplishment.
It used to be that mothers were in the same category as children. We liked the mothers best who were seen but not heard. But now mothers are insisting on their own voice and being heard, but not just heard, being heard loudly, like living out loud.
Welcome everybody to the Pussycat Lounge. Please feel free to take off your clothes. It seems like it's that kind of place.
It literally feels like an offshoot of feminism that is part of a understream that will be growing into a much larger river. That's what it feels like to me. When it first started, Joy was starting, I think, in just 2 venues, at the Cutting Room and maybe one other place at the time. And it's sort of been organic, as I said before, how it's grown. But she's never wavered from her vision. She said to me from the very beginning, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be an international movement. There's going to be a library, a feminism library of Mamapalooza, of motherhood, of creative mothers, and what they contribute to our society, and have contributed, and will continue to contribute. She's never wavered from her vision, and that's what I would buy a used car from that woman. Joy Rose is awesome.
Okay, we all did a different ending. That was cool.
That's your song, Little. That's your song. Hillary Clinton wrote that book, It Takes a Village to Raise a Child, and I truly believe that. And I'm so lucky that I tour around with my village. There are a lot of rockers who were able to have kids and keep going in a very cool way. Even Madonna, as a matter of fact. Anybody who has been able to incorporate that in their life and to keep going is a hero or heroine of mine. Tina Weymouth is definitely one of my inspirations. Also, Patti Smith, who had kids and was performing.
Bjork has 2 kids. She's a mom that rocks. Cher's a mom, you know. She's got 2. She's, I think, almost a grandmother.
And I saw Kathy Valentine when I was 22 years old. It was like 1982, and I saw the Go-Go's open for the Rolling Stones at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. And then, of course, I'm from Motown, like the home of girl bands, but those girl bands, or those girl groups, I guess you call them, didn't play instruments, they just sang. So to see a all-girl band where every girl was playing an instrument, like, blew me away.
Hey Joy, hope the gig went well this weekend. We got some great news on Friday. There is a radio station here in Detroit that is interested in doing something with us. Only problem is that they play a lot of rap, etc. We don't really fit into their sound. So who should call me on Friday? Joel Martin, who produces Eminem. Eminem's co-writer and keyboardist is going to remix Merry Frickin' Christmas at Eminem's studio on Monday and give it an 8-mile sound. I'm so excited about this, not to mention honored. Let's talk next week. Okay, Judy.
Joe is a really nice man. He's really amazing, and he's really offered to do a lot for us. But I got to believe that he's not doing it because he's so much nice. It's because he thinks like something could happen. I mean, that's what I'm hoping. I think they're gonna keep our sound, but hopefully, you know, make it something a little bit more palatable for radio stations. And I'd love to have a hit. Do I want a rocker deal? Do I want a tour? Do I want to like open for the Rolling Stones? Well, yeah, I do want to open for the Rolling Stones, but not tour. Like maybe one day, you know.
So we're going to 54 Sound, which is the studio owned by Joel Martin, which is the sort of the home base of Eminem. The guy who writes all the music for Eminem's raps is a guy called Louis Resto. And Louis lives right across the street from Pat and has a daughter, Olivia, who is actually in my daughter Lauren's classroom at school. And he's going to be adding some keyboard stuff to our Christmas song, Merry Frickin' Christmas.
Yeah, Santa. This will be the best Christmas yet.
Our record label.
Break a leg. Break both your legs while you're at it. I didn't say that. When do we go on? Exactly. That is what the question I have been asking.
We're famous now.
We're pretty sweet.
We're famous now.
We get to sit in Winnebagos for 7 hours.
And when I turned around, another mother mocked me down. I held my head and screamed, I think they all did it. Was a small stampede in Iowa. Why are we doing this so fast? That's what I was trying to fix.
it off really fast.
That's okay. Can we just take it from
We're just doing it so
Just give me a count.
Small stampede in aisle number 3. I broke my arm Christmas shopping at the mall. Ho, 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 ho. I broke my arm Christmas shopping at the mall. Ho, 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 ho.
So I was on Prozac. I hadn't heard them perform till tonight, and it was so much fun. They're so talented. It's great to see, you know, just because you're a mom, you're not, you know, just restricted to driving and cooking.
Having worked with Joy just now is the, you know, you feel like standing like this around her, like, the joy of it. Finally, mamas are doing what I wanted to do when I was 30 or 40. I mean, you know, I wanted to be a stand-up comic. I wanted to do rock and roll. I wanted to do rap. Maybe I could do it now. I think this millennia is the millennium of the woman. And I think Mamapalooza is on the cutting edge.
You missed the best part. The whole bathroom sink just exploded. I'm soaking wet. Yes. I had to get a plumber thing and turn it off.
Now we want you to meet someone who also wears interesting garbs, a rocker mom who's no desperate housewife. She's part of an all-female band called Housewives on Prozac. 6 women singing about mom's life through songs like The Housewives Lament. And, you're going to love this one, Shut Up and Eat Your Damn Spaghetti.
I was diagnosed with lupus after my daughter was born and resulted in a kidney transplant. And for me, that was the impetus to remember what passionately fueled me in life and to remind other people, too, just that life is short. We have to do a lot of important, responsible work every day, but at the same time, we've got to be able to blow off steam and enjoy ourselves and celebrate our essence and our passion.
Joy Rose, the band is called Housewives on Prozac.
That's it.
Well, you look.
Excuse me. How does it feel when you get swarmed with so much media attention?
Well, I try to handle myself as professionally as possible, whenever possible.
I was in the studio then with Joy, and Joy says to me, you know, for a year she's been saying to me, "Can you sing this part? This is what I want you to sing. Beady, boodoo, boodoo, boodoo." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I start laughing, and she's like, "No, really, beady, boodoo," and it's like totally in the wrong key. Well, I think I'm like morphing into Joy, because at the studio the other night, I said to Joy, "Well, I think we should go, yeah, yeah, boodoo, yeah, yeah."
Why don't we do that? That's what I'm saying. Shoot that.
In a corner of the suburbs, in a beautiful home with a picket fence, she waits alone for a husband who's angry, busy and cruel, and he picks her up when the kids go to school. So she reaches for the vodka, she reaches for the gin, and she plays her cards while she waits for him. And she hides her secrets and she hides her fear. She hides her bruises underneath her hair.
I embrace my role as a mother, and I am totally wild. And you can be a wild one too, and still do your job as a mother. Because I talk to a lot of women, church-going conservative women, and guess what? All kids across the board have issues, problems. We all are doing the best we can. And to do rock music doesn't mean that, you know, your kid's gonna have this particular issue or whatever, you know? That's a Puritan kind of bullshit. I found a band after every single night for about a year. I got down on my knees, on all fours actually, with my head pressed into the carpet and begged God to send me like-minded souls. And after about a year of that, praying and prostrating, they showed up. Oh, well, it's usually getting ready for a gig when something happens with a kid, and of course I want to so come through. Tell Blaze I have the blonde wig. Well, I just got it, so what would you like me to do with it? You want... What? Okay, I'll drop it off at the office. It'll be there actually by 8, because I have to get out of here this morning. I mean, that's the fucking history of it right there. It's like, we need you for this. Help us out, Mom. Okay, Mom rises to the occasion, right? Did I have the wig within 2 seconds, right? Oh, we don't need it, Mom. No, it's okay. We got it under control. Disempower. It's just like stupid. All right, look, you're tired, right? You can barely keep up. Look, you've got 2 of them on your knee. Are they both yours? Oh, God, all right. So you know exactly what I'm... All right, we're exhausted. It's the end of the day. Kids, I want you to pay attention. You want a nice meal, right? You want Mom to fix you something good. But sometimes she's just too tired to even cook. So let's think of a non-cook meal. So I'd like you to take a box of organic, preferably organic macaroni.
Now remember, this is an easy no-cook meal, so we're just gonna empty it right into the pan. Don't even worry about the water. And then you just throw the cheese right in. You know, it makes it simple if you don't have to actually cook it. And it's just quick that way. That when we're screaming, you can get it out. Now, we all know ketchup is a vegetable, so you just have to squirt some of that in there, right? And that'll be good.
You got somebody who looks like he's looking appetizing.
And everybody knows kids like dessert. Yeah, you want to hold that for me, honey? You can hold that. You want to hold that? You can hold that. Is that okay to hold that? Yeah. Okay. Here you go. There you go. Okay. Now, we can just throw the dessert right in here, I think, today, because that way we'll know we've gotten it all. It's a one-pot meal. Might as well even put the box in while you're at it.
At her age, I would no more have gotten up on the stage and done what they do. And you look around the audience and everyone is laughing and clapping. And then when she sings a song reminiscent of when she had lupus, there are tears in the crowd too.
I think we always started too slow.
I come to sit, I watch it drip, I watch it fall, and that's not all. I feel the pain begin again. I feel the burn, I feel the burn. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not fair. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not fair. I close my eyes, I clench my teeth, I try to breathe, I try to breathe, I try to talk, I ask him why, the words won't come, I only cry. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not fair. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not fair. I come to sit, I feel sick. The liquid drips, the liquid drips into my brain, into my life, into my art, into my mind. I am a hurt, I am a haze, I am a blur, I am a blaze. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not fair. No party, no chocolate, no wine, no fun, no hair. It's not fair, it's not
Little bells to keep my kidney in its place. Only 5 at night. In the morning we take 9. That's pretty good.
I'm sure this is very common, but I just sometimes, I do feel like there is something outside myself motivating me, because a lot of times I don't even want to do this, you know? So I feel sometimes just so overwhelmed, and like I just want to go lie on the couch with Xena right now and watch Shark Tales. And why are we motivated to do the things sometimes that are the hardest or that we want to do the least? I know nothing about business, and here I am committed to empowering women through business and my own business, and I get jealous of other women. I mean, it's true, you know, I work with that, I battle with that. I mean, I do a pretty good job with that, but still it comes up. So that I have to deal with that every day. And then I have complete fear of competition. So I've created a thing that's non-competitive, but like still when these Hollywood producer people call, it raises a whole thing of just total anxiety.
Really, the story of the mom bands is, however compelling it is, that's basically is the same, you know, is the same deal. So what are they going to pick on that's like an angle that will get people interested? Because they never focus on our music. I think our lyrics are like the funniest thing. You know, why don't they like focus on how funny our songs are? But they want to know if our husbands are pissed because we play shows that have 21-year-old guys in the audience. Like, that's the thing that everybody comes down to.
Even today at the radio station.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to know. They're interested in the MILF thing more than they are the music.
What did your husband John say? Did he? It sounds like he was supportive when you said you wanted to start this band. But what is it? Where is he at now with it? Because it's all of a sudden exploded. Do you think he'd go on the air with us and talk?
Call us.
Yeah, he might do.
You've talked to her so much.
Yeah,
Why don't we talk to you?
I would like to talk to John and just find out what he's thinking.
Okay.
How do you feel about it now, John? I mean, initially it sounds like you were kind of like, hey, this is great. It'll keep you guys busy and keep you out of our hair.
Well, it's still great. It's really cool. I'm really proud of them because they can actually get up and play at the Lager House or the Magic Stick, all these really good clubs in Detroit, and actually hold their own against all these other bands. So they're pretty awesome. It's kind of surprising from where they started that they can actually play a real gig and do well.
So I'm just trying to figure out where's our place, because it's really flattering to be contacted by TV stations and movie executives and whatnot. But where are the music people calling us? I gotta believe if we were some hot-looking 21-year-old chicks who were in People magazine and the Wall Street Journal and the London Times and on Inside Edition, we would have a record deal right now.
We would have a record deal, but okay, what is interesting, if people are not interested in us because our music is, as you put it so like 5 minutes ago, then what they're interested in us about is the fact that we exist. Nobody is going to be making money off us, so there's no way that we're ever going to get a record deal.
Did you read The Red Tent?
Yeah.
To me, that seems like the way to go. You have the one wife that cooks, and the one wife that takes care of the kids, and the one wife that's in a band.
Yeah, but what if you don't like this? What if you don't like your husband? What if you don't like having sex with your husband?
Well, you don't have to. There's one wife that just has sex, so you don't ever have to do that if you don't want.
Huh? Can the wives get together?
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
That's what I'm telling you.
So Judy wants to be in a polygamous family, and she wants to be the rock wife.
I want to be the rock star wife. Are we gonna like burn in hell for having this?
It depends on what your concept of hell is. You will, because you're a Catholic, and they're all over that stuff, but I'm not going to.
When I was a kid, I remember like in middle school, the kids in the band were always kind of like the geeky kids, but the kids in the school actually think it's pretty cool that the school band's doing this rock and roll song, and the band director wrote the music for the horns and stuff like that to play with this rock band.
Everybody say, "Hey!"
You want to count it off?
Article about him in the newspaper, and I've covered the suburbs for the Chicago Tribune, the New York Times, and lived the life for 25 years. We're trying to figure out if it's a subversive movement or not. I think it's slightly subversive, which is why I like it. I think it is a bit of a movement. I hope so. It seems like they've grown from like one band 4 years ago to upwards, I've heard of a couple hundred. It's kind of been my job to find unusual people in the suburbs, people with spirit and life to them, you know, outside of the regular stereotypes of suburban life, and these women are definitely fit into that category. It's a joy to see them.
Maybe there's a revolution happening in motherhood, and it's going to be done
and begun maybe with music.
As a band, I think we've made maybe $50, maybe. And we have forked out far, far more than that. And we don't care. Because we have a message about, you know, personal empowerment and smashing the goddamn system. We'll do Mamapalooza, and we'll, if we do this reality TV show or whatever, we'll do that. We'll do interviews and just over and over again keep our same message, keep saying our same thing, keep doing our same thing. And it'll get out there. One person, two people hear it and decide, wow, I'm down with that and I want to do something in my life, in my world, to change my world. Because I got inspired by that. Great, then our job is done.
Who here hates the way the public school system is in this country? USD, they wanna teach the kids to bring art. Administrators, yes, God. There's no textbooks, but you're a club, you're a training card. What the heck is that about?
My vision for mom rock or for my band is much more political and activist than the vision for Mamapalooza. I think Mamapalooza is more commercial. If it were a vehicle for change, for changing our society and changing our world, then I think that could be more empowering.
And now we're women on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Yeah. A lot of friends suffer from total meltdown. Yeah. Being back after the beatdown. Yeah. I'm battered and bruised and used and abused. Beware of the women with nothing to lose.
Anger is the fuel behind this band. I think a lot of the mom bands started because somebody got angry. My fear is that it's going to be a fad, a fashion, or assimilated before it even becomes a movement. It's such a baby movement. It's such a teeny tiny little baby, bud of a flower. Women getting together on their own to make the kind of music that's been sort of denied to us as women, but particularly as moms, and owning it then as moms. And speaking from the point of view of moms, whatever we're saying, some people are more serious, some people are more funny, that's irrelevant. The point is that we're coming from the point of being moms. And I find women on stage, women performing on stage, who are taking their passion to making a commentary about the social injustices that we live every day, that still plague our lives, despite common perception that women are equal in this society. It's a fallacy. And women on stage in musical performances have that magical power to get that message across, and their passion is overwhelming, and it carries me.
They are the Housewives on Prozac, and believe it or not, these mom bands are the biggest deal right now in this country. These garage bands of moms who've said, we're going to get out and we're going to write songs about what we're doing, and it ain't pretty out there. Anyway, they're going to sing with us this morning.
Housewives on Prozac. Good morning, America. We come back, a music act like no other. These are Housewives on Prozac.
We got to say hi, Diane. Donna's like, hi, Diane.
Darling?
Get fired anyway.
Hi, honey, how are you? I'm getting ready to go on TV. Are you at school?
I'm not gonna get fired, but I'm taking.
Oh, okay.
Crusties.
Yeah.
The crusties.
So
on my
just
lips.
come over after school and we'll start loading the car. All right, thanks, honey. Love you. Bye.
I could have been mistaken. I must have been confused. Queen of my kitchen, late at night, singing the dishwasher blues. Did I walk? 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 On this way,
I don't take nothing for granted. Hi, Tina. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today and getting up so early. This is about you, too, I wish we could all be up here. I tried to pitch everybody on stage, but it's the best I could do.
And most of the days are spent in a dark little back room doing emails and phone calls and trying to balance everything. I don't even balance. I've given up the word balance.
Especially when you're standing in paint cans. Yeah. Do it again. Just in case. One of the best things about being a mother is watching your daughter have opportunities created by the mothers who went before, but beyond their wildest dreams.
History has written that her story is changing. It's just a matter of some time. There's a daughter somewhere who's growing up much stronger. She's gonna be the first female president.
Is motherhood as we know it over in America, or what?
No, it's changing. It's changing. I think the rules are being rewritten. I think you can pretty much do whatever you want to now. I don't think that there's a set way to be a mother anymore. This afternoon, on the way back from my kid's soccer game, my daughter said, my 9-year-old daughter said, "You know, Mom, it's so cool." I said, "What is so cool?" "That you're in a band. That's so cool, and it's so normal that you're in a band." And I thought that was great.
I mean, some people think that it's ridiculous that they think that we're not spending enough time with our family and that we're taking time for ourselves and being selfish. Like, yeah, I've heard these things.
No one's ever told me that this is a bad idea.
Well, they don't say that to your face, though. I mean, you don't think people... I heard it. Are you kidding me?
Pat made this comment that people think that we're bad mothers, that we don't spend enough time with our kids. And I was like, and she's saying this on national TV. I've coached their soccer teams. I run Writers Club at school. I've organized 3 school fairs. I mean, I think my children speak for themselves. Not only are they straight A students, but they get these Student of the Month things. They're like really good kids. I'm a bad employee, and my husband will probably tell you that I'm a bad wife too, because a lot of times being in this band makes me exhausted, but not the kids, not the kids.
The kitchen of tomorrow is calling me. My cake is ready.
Time for the show. Everybody on stage.
Day of Mamapalooza. I just want to go to bed and cry. And wake up and hopefully, put on some false eyelashes, and I think I'm going to wear like a wig tonight. At some point, I still need to practice my guitar, but always the last thing on my list. I'm really nervous now that I'm going to suck. Hopefully everybody will be so dazzled by my outfit. They won't notice. I don't know. I'm really starting to get sick to my stomach right now. And I think it's days like today that I realize, that the media's got it right. We are just sort of a quirky group of housewives. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't be beating myself up. Hey, audience! Hi! Hi, Kate! Hi! We're just going. How you doing? It's going good.
It started in the toaster and it spilled through the mall. Before it was over, he destroyed it all. The cops came in when it moved outside. They came in hard, but they brushed him aside. Now his mama cried, "Hey, that can't be my son." But all the kids were yelling, "Run, crazy baby, run!"
Detroit. It's classic rock. We met the My Dolls. I think they were in People magazine, and I said, oh my gosh, they're from Detroit. I'm missing something. So we had them on, we interviewed them, Judy Davids, and it was really fun. They have a lot of energy, and you know, it was moms between bands on their spare time, which I'm a mother. So tonight I'm emceeing the show, and it's really one of the most unique things I've ever done in 30 years. There's little kids in the audience, there's adults in the audience, and it's really an unusual environment. I'm totally enjoying myself.
Holy cow, this is the My Dolls, girl. This is Black Flamingo. It's good to see you. I'm gonna go around and say hi to absolutely everybody.
I feel like we have met.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
I'm Frances.
Frances.
I'm Susie. Hi, Susie. I'm Lisa Black Flamingo. How are you?
Nice to meet you. So my ex-husband called me in the middle of the media hour to tell me that her 17-year-old ran away, and like basically a long dissertation. I mean, God bless, but I'm standing there in the middle of schlepping the equipment.
Right.
With a very long discussion about the dark side. So I have 3 messages, so I thought maybe I should check them. And it's like you have to listen about your son,
Yes,
because otherwise
that's
it'll seem like you don't care.
Yeah, no.
And you do care.
Yes, that's important.
Even though the timing is
I
less than. I'm not going to make it tonight. Good luck. He's fine. I think he wanted to go camping this weekend, and it was convenient. And don't let your mothers grow up to be rock stars. All right. Well, let's go back into the bash.
His essence is sterling, his character complete. The woman's crazy about the man from his head to his feet. She doesn't like excess, she doesn't want fame. No, there's only one thing from this man that she hates. That's his smile.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's been a very exciting year. And the excitement includes not only our new sponsorship agreement, but in fact, me being able to meet women from all across America. There were only 9 performers the first year. There was a 72-year-old ex-Rockette, a 68-year-old belly dancer, 1 poet, 1 comic, housewives on Prozac, a couple of singer-songwriters, and that was it. And what's happened is not only has the event grown in New York, but this past year we were fortunate through newspaper articles to connect with women who were doing the same kind of thing in Detroit, in San Francisco, in Texas. And as we gained in momentum, we found people in cities everywhere.
I pray for a long blessing. I wanna fly. Yes, suspenders and all. I guess that's why, officer, I light fires in the hall.
Mamapalooza has turned into my new religion. I'm so sorry, Catholic girls, because I did convert to Catholicism the other night when they played, but Mamapalooza is really my religion because you can be a mom and an artist, all like umbrellaed in the same thing, and look at everybody. I want to be in the same religion as all of them, so I love this religion.
Hallelujah, say hallelujah. The kids are finally asleep. I can put my big butt in front of the TV, cause the kids are finally asleep.
photographer, the merchandise person, tipped the waitress, and bought lunch, I lost $22. Is that fucking amazing? That is pretty amazing. I am so happy.
Oh my God.
That is like friggin' amazing.
It's going to be huge. It is huge. We're going to have an airplane that says Mamapalooza and fly. There's got to be an airplane.
Like the time Housewives played the cutting room and Mini Kiss went after us. And this is midgets playing Kiss songs. And you couldn't get in to see the concert. There were so many people. So when Mamapalooza is as popular in every city as Mini Kiss is, I will be happy.
Oh no, I've been standing in the kitchen since 1:45 Eat your damn spaghetti and leave the room. You must have been born with a silver spoon. Eat your damn spaghetti or leave the room. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Pepper Ann, she's too cool for 7th grade. Pepper Ann, she's like 1 in a million. Go, go Power Rangers. Go, go, go Power Rangers. Flintstones. Meet Flintstones. They're a modern Stone Age family. And then we have the Meet George Jetson. Manila Gorilla, is that his name? His dog Judy, oh no, that's his wife, isn't it? SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants.